Welcome everyone. Myself Shweta Hemant. Now I'm going to discuss about presidential leadership. We are going to discuss about India's Draupadi Murmu versus Pakistan's Asif Ali Zardari. Now I'm going to introduce my teammates: Hansina Enos Christoph, Gerald Johnson, Harshana Madumagi. Yeah, I think the next slide is we are going to discuss about their leadership skills. And next one, here is our agenda for our presentation. We are going to discuss these topics in this presentation. And now I think it's the first part, it's introduction. I'm going to discuss about presidential leadership by comparing Draupadi Murmu of India and Asif Ali Zardari of Pakistan. Leadership is a critical factor in governance, shaping policy execution, public trust, and national stability. Our objective is to analyze their leadership styles using established leadership theories and evaluate their effectiveness in governance. We will explore how Murmu and Zardari's leadership approaches impact their political influence, governance strategies, and decision making abilities. By understanding their leadership styles, we can gain insights into how political figures inspire, manage challenges, and navigate complex political environments. This presentation will highlight their strengths, limitations, and key takeaways from their leadership journeys, providing a comprehensive view of leadership effectiveness in governance. Yeah, my friend, she is going to explain the next slide.
Hi everyone, I am Gerald Samuel. I'm going to explain this slide about Draupadi's Murmu profiles. Draupadi Murmu, India's first tribal woman president, has demonstrated resilience and ethical governance throughout her political journey. She has been a strong advocate for tribal rights and social development. Asif Ali Zardari's Pakistani's 11th and 14th president is known for coalitions building and political adaptability, navigating Pakistan through turbulent political periods. While Murmu's leadership is categorized by inclusivity and transformation qualities, Zardari's government is shaped by strategic alliance and political maneuvering. Their leadership styles reflect the political systems they operate within. Murmu in a larger ceremonial role and Zardari's wielding executive power. Examining their backgrounds provides insight into how their experience and political environments have shaped their governance styles and decision making processes. Next slides.
Hello, I'm Hansina, and today I would like to talk about trait theory in leadership using the example of Murmu's leadership. Trait theory suggests that certain inherent quality define effective leaders. Murmu's leadership is characterized by integrity, resilience, and empathy. Her integrity is reflected in her lifelong advocacy for marginalized groups, ensuring their rights and opportunities for social advancement. Her resilience is evident in her ability to overcome personal tragedies while continuing her leadership journey. Empathy is central to her politics as she prioritized educational and social welfare initiatives for tribal communities. Real world application of her leadership include policies measures that address socio-economic challenges among unprivileged groups, ensuring long-term developmental benefits. These traits make a respected leader, providing a stable foundation for a role in India's governance structure. Next slide.
Hello, I am Harshana Madhumagi. I am going to talk about transformational leadership in Burma's governance. Transfer, from a transform, Formational leadership focus on influencing change and creating lasting impact. Murmu embodies this through her emphasis on social inclusion, women's empowerment, and education. Her leadership has influenced millions, particularly India 8.6 tribal population, by advocating for their respectation and development. As president, she supports to constitutional integrity, engaging with leaders globally to enhance India democratic outreach. Her influence extend to initiatives such as women's relations bill, which seeks improve gender representation in the governance. Through her role is symbolic. Her leadership fosters a strong national uh, narrative of inclusivity and empowerment, demonstrating how transformational leadership can inspire social progress. Next slide.
Yeah, now I'm going to discuss critically about Murmu's leadership. Murmu's leadership is a blend of trade theory and transformational leadership. Her integrity and resilience align with trade theory, while her efforts to inspire challenge that reflects transformational qualities. However, her ceremonial role limits her ability to drive direct policy changes. The strength of her leadership lies in her ability to unite communities and advocate for social justice. However, the limitations of her role in policy making mean that her impact is largely symbolic rather than executive. So, understanding these dynamics helps us access the effectiveness of her leadership style within India's parliamentary democracy, where the president's influence is constrained by constitutional boundaries. Next slide.
Leadership challenges and limitations. Murmu's key challenges is the limited executive authority of the Indian president. While she represents over 8.6% of India's tribal populations, her role does not allow her to enforce policies directly. Public perceptions often sees the president's positions as largely ceremonial, with real power lying with the prime minister and the parliament. Another challenge is balancing symbolic representation with actual political influence. Despite her advocacy for tribal rights, the effectiveness of her leadership depends on collaboration with government bodies. Overcoming these challenges requires leveraging her position to influence public discourse and legislative priorities, amplifying her impact through advocacy and strategic engagement. Next slides.
I will be discussing the impact of Murmu's leadership. Murmu's election is a landmark moment in Indian history, representing progress in tribal representation. Her leadership highlights India's commitment to inclusivity and social equity. However, the impact of her presidency will be judged by her ability to advocate for meaningful legislative changes and long term policy shifts. While she lacks direct executive power, her role in influencing national discussions on social equity and tribal rights is significant. Her leadership sets a precedent for future tribal representation in politics, and her legacy will be shaped by her advocacy efforts and symbolic contribution to national governance. Her leadership journey demonstrates the power of representation in politics. Next slide.
Saif Ali Sardari's profile. Born into the prominent Siddhi family, Sardari rose to the political performance after his wife Benazir Bhutto was assassinated as to a two-time president. He navigated Pakistan through the crisis and maintains PPP dominance. His leadership is defined by the political reliance, collaborating, building, and strategic maneuvering. He played a crucial role in the shaping Pakistani's political landscape by the leavening alliance and the managing conflict with the tribal political framework. While his presidency was marked by the significant economic and the political reforms, he also faces the allegations of the corruptions and the governance influences. Uh, Sardar's leadership style reflects his ability to balance competing interest, making him a key figure in the Pakistani com- contemporary political history. Next slide.
Yeah, I am going to discuss about the Sardari's behavioral style theory. Zardari balances task-oriented leadership during crisis with people-oriented leadership in alliance management. His governance style reflects both authoritative decision-making and political adaptability. His task-oriented approach is evident in his decisive actions during political unrest, where he took firm steps to consolidate power and stabilize governance. His people oriented leadership is demonstrated in his ability to manage alliances within the Pakistan People's Party PPP and across different political factions. This dual leadership approach enabled him to navigate Pakistan's complex political landscape, maintaining influence and political stability despite significant challenges. His leadership underscores the effectiveness of adaptability in dynamic political environments. Next slide.
Let's see about transformation leadership in Zardari's governance. Zardaris used charisma to unify the Triple P after Benazir Bhutto's assassinations. However, his leadership has been criticized for prioritizing political survival over true transformation, with corruption allegations undermining his credibility. While he positioned himself as a transformative leader, his tenure was often marred by governance issues and accusations of personal and political gain. This raises questions about the ethical implications of his leadership. Transformational leadership appear to drive change but may prioritize personal interest, making their leadership effectiveness questionable. Zardani's legacy is thus shaped by a combination of political resilience and controversy, reflecting both achievements and governance shortcomings. Next slides.
We will analyze Zardari's leadership through the lens of behavioral theory. Zardari's leadership reflects behavioral theory balancing strategic alliance with task oriented governance. However, political controversies and governance instabilities have limited his ability to drive long term national change. While he demonstrated adaptability and resilience in managing political challenges, his leadership was often overshadowed by corruption, scandals, and allegation of mismanagement. This raises concerns about the sustainability of his leadership approach. Analyzing his leadership through the lens of behavioral theory helps us understand how leaders navigate complex political environments while balancing competing interests. His leadership effectiveness remains a subject of debate, reflecting the broader challenges of governance in politically violent regions. Next slide.
Leadership challenges and limitations. Sardari. Sardari has faced legal battles, corruption allegations, and the governance challenges. While he maintained PPP influence, uh, public trust in his leadership has been weakened due to the infinity and the political contrivance. His leadership has been marked by difficulties in implementing effective governance politics and managing economic challenges. Political instability during his tenure also impacted Pakistan's economic growth and the public sector efficiency. Despite his ability to sustain political alliance, his leadership remains controversial due to concerns over ethical governance. Addressing these challenges would require stronger transparency measures, improvement governance policies, and a committed to ethical leadership, and ensuring greater public trust and policy effectiveness. Next slide.
Yeah, according to Zardari's leadership impact, Zardari's presidency marked Pakistan's first peaceful democratic transition. He introduced 18th Amendment that developed power to provinces and emphasized coalition politics, parliamentary democracy, and regional trade cooperation. Even after stepping down, he remained influential in the Pakistan's People Party, shaping its strategic direction. So, his leadership helped Pakistan stabilize during political crisis, but governance inefficiencies and corruption allegations impacted his credibility. While his economic policies expanded social welfare programs like the Benazir Income Support Program that concerns over transparency and economic mismanagement persisted. comparing his leadership to other Pakistani leaders that highlights both his achievements in democratic reforms and the ongoing governance challenges he faced. His influence remains significant in Pakistan's political landscape. Next slide.
Let's look into leadership comparisons. Murmu leadership symbolizes inclusivity and resilience, focusing on tribal empowerment, while Zardari's leadership is defined by coalitions, building, and political maneuvering. Murmu operates in a largely a ceremonial role, limiting her ability to enact policy changes, whereas Zardari, despite governance challenges, exercised executive power. While Murmu is regarded as a moral leader advocating for social change, Zardari's leadership reflects political adaptability in a highly volatile environment. Their leadership effectiveness varies based on governance structures. Murmu influences a social representation without direct policymaking, while Zardari's tenure led to structural reforms but was marred by corruption's allegations. This comparison underscores how a different political contexts shape leadership effectiveness and governance impact. Next slides.
We will explore key recommendations to enhance leadership effectiveness. To enhance her leadership effectiveness, Murmu could advocate for strong policy roles for the president, expanding her influence in national governance. Strengthening her engagement in international diplomacy and social initiative could further elevate her impact. Zardari, in contrast, could improve ethical governance by promoting transparency in implementing anti-corruption mechanism and focusing on public trust. A shift from political survival strategies to long-term policy-driven governance would enhance its credibility. Both leaders exemplify different aspects of leadership, symbolic representation versus executive governance, highlighting the need for a balance between vision, ethics, and policy execution. Stronger institutional frameworks could support both leadership approach in driving long-term national progress. Next.
Conclusion. Leadership effectiveness is sharpened by the governance structure, political environment, and the ethical considerations. Murumu and Sardari exemplify contrasting leadership models. Murumu has an exclusive transportation leader within the symbolic role, and Sardari as a strategic executive leader facing governance changes. Murmu presidency is a milestone for a tribal representation, but her influence is limited by the constitution constraints. Sardar implemented crucial governance reforms, but faces credibility issues due to the political controversies. This analysis underscored the importance of the transformational leadership, ethical governance, and the strategic decision making in the politics. Understanding their leadership styles help us achieve how political figures can inspire, manage a governance, and impact national development. Next slide.
References. Our research is supported by credible sources, including government reports, scholar articles, and new publications. The references provide a foundation for our analysis of leadership styles, governance effectiveness, and the impact of political structures on leaderships. And thank you for your attentions, and we welcome any questions.